All right, in this video, we're going to talk about one more statement that is related to exceptions, and that is the raise statement. In the raise statement, right, what you can do is raise your own exception. So when you first kind of hear that, you're like, well, why would I want to do that, right? Because if I do that, then that is going to cause my program to crash. So I'm intentionally sabotaging my own program. And the answer is, well, yeah, kind of. But then what you can do is use the try except block to handle those exceptions. So sometimes you can use this raise statement and custom exceptions so that you um, so that you can have your own signals in the program. Okay, so let's just take a look at an example of how to do that. And we're going to go back to this program that we were talking about in the previous video on the try except example. And what we're going to do is to look at this part right here about the number being in the correct range from 1 to 9, right? And so in the previous video, what we did was we just handled that using a simple if statement. And honestly, that kind of would be, to me, the preferred way to do it right here. The way we've got things set up. I just think it's better that way. But I also want to give you an example of how to make your own custom exceptions and how to use those. Okay. So, like I said, to me, if you can handle a statement without or some validation or something like that without using the exceptions, that's probably the better way to do it rather than have a bunch of your own custom exceptions and do it that way. But sometimes it's just easier to do it that way and worth it. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do then is to make my own custom exception. All right. And for this number being not in the correct range. Okay. So how do you do that? Well, you just do that by using inheritance. What I can do is go up here and make my own class, my own error class, and I'm just going to call this one my error. Okay, and what you need to do in order to do that, to get all of the functionality of the exception class, is you need to make it a child class of the exception class. Okay, so remember, if you remember back from the inheritance part, that's what we're doing right here. So my error is a child class of the exception class, so it will inherit all of the attributes and methods right from the exception class. And that's what we want to do. Okay, so you can add your own custom code in here. We're not going to do that in this example, but you have to have something there. So if you have to have something there, then what you can do is just put pass, and that means that will satisfy Python as having a statement in there. So if I try to compile this right without the pass, you can kind of see it'll give me some error. Indentation error, expected an indented block after class definition on line 1. So expected something to be there is what it's saying. So you got to put something there. I don't want to put this while true in there, so I'm just putting pass in there, and then that satisfies Python. So, okay. So I've got this own custom thing here, and what I'm going to do now is instead of continuing right here, and remember, I kind of think this is the preferred way to do it. I'm just trying to give you an example of how this would work. And I'm going to do it before this. So I'm going to temporarily comment this line out. And I'll just put raise my error here. So what will happen is that if the number is not in the correct range, then it's going to fall in here. It's going to generate one of these my error objects and raise it. And then that's going to cause the program to crash. So if I run this and I enter 35, not in the correct range, it's going to crash my program. And you can see that it raised a my error, right? That custom error that I made up here. All right, so you can make your own errors like this and use those to signal things into the program. Okay, and so I don't want my program to crash, right? So what I would do is go down here and add another except line for my error, right? And again, that's basically telling Python, hey, Python, if one of these my errors gets raised here, then here's the plan for what I want you to do, okay? And so what we would do is just print this message out that we were printing out before. Number is not in the correct range. You may say, hey, should I be using number instead of number string? And the answer is no, you can just use number, because if we are have gotten to line 7, right, that means that that value error didn't occur. And so number will be defined at that point. And so then down here, if we come to this line and get that error raised, when we jump down here, we'll have the variable number. It will be in there, okay? And so then what will happen is it'll print this message, and then it that's the last line in the loop, so it will go back up here and check the condition true, right? And then if we go through here and everything's fine, the user enters all of this, it will hit this break statement and stop the loop and jump down here to line 16, okay? All right, so let's check that out and see if it works. So if I enter ASDF or whatever, not an integer. If I enter some decimal number, not an integer. And then now if I enter something that's not in the correct range, 78, we should get that line there. 78 is not in the correct range, right? And then it says enter, it reprompts the user. So now if I enter a 9, right, then it jumps down here to line 16 and prints you entered the integer, okay? All right, so that's an alternative way to do that. And again, it's probably not the preferred way. To me, the preferred way is how we had it before. But I just wanted to give you kind of a simple, as I could, example where you are making your own exception class and throwing these in. Now, you don't always have to make your own custom exception. There might be one of the built-in exceptions in Python that you can also raise those there. But I'm always, I guess, a little hesitant to do that, because what if that something else caused that to happen? You know, then that might, what you have down here in the except block might not be the correct action that you want to take. So, all right, so that's it on this example.